Hi everybody, how you doing? I hope you had an amazing day today. Well, I suppose that apart from Camilo, JC and Marcy hopefully are watching this video. I wanted to make a video so that it's a little bit more interactive, as JC told us this past Wednesday, because I don't want to make it just boring by uploading only text, boring long text. So that's why I'm doing it with this format, this video format. So for today, I'm recording this video to date. What day is today? Sorry, today is August 9th. Okay, so today we had the fourth class at the Colombo, and I'm going to develop further here the takeaways, the like all of the things that you guys put there on the presentation about the instructional performance. So I wrote like all of the things here. And during the class, I was checking. I was saying like, okay, the teacher completes this one, does not complete this one, half completes it. So I will develop why. Why did I put a mark or not on each one of this? Yes, of this. So the first one were clear rules. Mm, in a scale of 1 to 5, I will give her a 3. Why? Both groups. Because from the very first class, they did an activity that was just like them taking a paper, and they had to write like, oh, I want this class to be no cell phones or cell phones off. I want to blah 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 blah. So she made like all the expectations, all of these classroom rules and everything with them, and she also set like the rules with the students. But there is a big problem, and it's the fact that she did not develop further these rules. Neither she reinforces them during the classes, or she kind of have has new rules or puts new rules for each class. She just left them there on the first day. And we have a problem with the student at the second group. Both the groups are TA 2.3. Yes, TA 2.3. And we have a problem with the second group, the 1 p.m. group, and it's a student called, I don't know if I can say the name. Well, he's called Alejandro. And he does not have the best attitude towards the class, and he's always using his phone, as well as Juan Jose and Martin. Sometimes I've caught them using their cell phones, and it was a rule that they as students and her as a teacher set from the beginning. They told like, okay, we are going to do this. They said we are going to do this and that, and we are not going to use cell phones during the class. But the teacher just went like, okay, no cell phones. But she didn't develop further like, okay, you cannot use your cell phone or you will be, I don't know, receiving negative points or something. It was just like, no cell phones. And that's all. So I think that the rules should be clear to everyone, or at least it should be reinforcing them, or each class she should put new rules like, we are going to do this, or you are going to be working on this. Like if the class needs I mean, the class allows the use of cell phones, I think it will be good to be like, okay, you can use your cell phone under these conditions, but they are not respecting those rules. And it also comes in hand with the second, that is concise and clear instruction, that on a scale of 1 to 5, I also put a 3. Why? Because she does not, I mean, she gives the instruction, but it's not like she really develops further. um Again, so if she wants to, I don't know, maybe make an activity about present simple, imagine. Let's imagine present simple. She's like, okay, these are the rules, go ahead and do it. And I think that's not the best idea. Maybe she can make students paraphrase. She does sometimes, but not all the time. So we don't know if everything's clear for them, and they are always making me faces. They are like, teacher Laura, because they don't understand. And sometimes I've had to explain to them again the rules of the games, the instructions and everything, because they get lost and they get confused because she does not give a clear instruction all the time. And it's also the fact that she does not put maybe examples. Like if I want to do students, if I want to, yes, do an activity with students, call it, I don't know, hot potato, and they don't know what hot potato is, I will put a slide or something that explains what hot potato is, the instructions. I will set rules for the game, and I will give them a step by step for them to follow. Of course, that it does not take a lot of time, but still, I will give that to them, and I will make an example with me, with others. So I will make an example so that they understand what they have to do. But she only did that, I remember, the first class. She did that. She did like the example with me. But as for the rest of the classes, I have not seen her doing it with examples, and students get really, really lost in this. Now, for the other two that are monitoring and timely and motivating feedback, I will give her 5 actually, because she's really good at monitoring. She's all the time checking. Oh, Juan Jose has a question. Amalie has another question. Gabriela has another question, and she's all the time like monitoring. And she also uses me for that, and I think that's pretty, really, really, really great that she can use that help. So we are always, both of us are always on students, asking them, telling them, okay, you did this wrong because of this and that. And we are always doing that. So we are always monitoring and giving motivating feedback, because I think she's pretty good at that. She's not like the type of teacher that will go like, you did this wrong, so you deserve a negative point or something. No, she tries to help a student and motivate them so that they don't feel like they did things wrong, and they feel like what they did, yes, was wrong, but there's room for improvement. So I like that about her. Now about both sorry about voice projection and body language, I think that she still needs improvement on this. I will put it 3 again because she is not the best at voice projection and at body language. For example, when I try to explain something and I don't want to use Spanish directly, or it's something that I can explain with my body language, I just move. So I'm like, you have to read and you have to write on your notebooks or something like that. But she's like, you have to read, you have to write, and she's signaling like the TV all the time. Or she's just like there reading the TV. And I do not feel like she does that eye contact thing with students. She's like, okay, let's read the objectives, or let's read the instructions for the game, and she does that, and then she asks the students like, what do we have to do, or things like that. But most of the time she when she gives instructions, she's like, okay, looking at the TV. Or and um she does not express that well. She does not express that well with her body. She's a little bit stiff. That's how I would put it. She's a little bit stiff, and she's like this. Of course, she's not like that all the time, but I feel like she will need a little bit more movement if she wants to work with teenagers. Because as I've told you in, I think it was my last post, students, well, teenagers, especially teenagers and kids, preteens, teens, and they need a lot of movement and a lot of energy from you. If not, they won't work. So for TPR activities, because in today's class we observed that that's what they like. I think she needs a little bit more of movement, being a little bit more proactive during classes, and her voice tends to be a little bit lower. I mean, she's like playing. The voice is playing all the time. She's not playing with her voice. She's not like going up when she has to say something, or going down when she has to say something else. She's just like playing all the time, and I think that also, well, it goes in hand, of course, with voice projection and the way that students perceive what you give them and what they learn. Because if you, I don't know, you're teaching them the verb peel, and you go like, okay, peel is when you peel a banana, for example, they won't understand and they won't feel attracted. Maybe I forgot how how you said that, but like, yes, attracted to the lesson, to the things they are learning. Yeah, they won't feel like that. So you will have to be like, oh, let's peel the banana, and go like that. So yeah, that for voice projection and body language. Now about positive learning environment, transitions and timing. That she's can. Oh my god, I think that was feedback. Sorry, I'll check. Consistent and fair. Let me check still because I didn't write that here. It is be consistent and fair with all students. Meet objectives. I think with those one, two, three, four. With those four, I will give her a 5. She always shows me like you have to do these transitions in class. She has taught me all of this in our meetings after class. So she does like, okay, you have to connect this topic with this topic because you need blah blah blah, and we have connect well she has connected most of the topics with the first lesson. So in the first lesson we were talking about money, then today we were talking about technological devices, and she still connected that with money. So I think that the transitions in the timing have been perfect. Everything has been perfect. And she puts a timer on her cell phone. She's all the time like 2 minutes for this activity, 3 minutes for this activity, 5 minutes for this activity. And I think that's great because it's a way to measure the way that you are developing your tasks or your activities during the class. And that's just great. So she's great with transitions and timing. She's consistent and fair with all students. She doesn't have a favorite student. I think, well, that was actually a question. And it's can you get close to students? Because that's something that I like to do, but it's because of my personality and the environment I grew up in. I like to be close with my people and with those I'm teaching. Teaching to. So I like to be close with my students. But she's not like that close, like, oh hello, let's be friends. No, but she still like kind of tries to talk with them about their lives and things, and still she manages to be fair. She's not like Gabriella is my favorite student, or I don't know, Amalie is my favorite student. No, she's like every student here um is the same and they deserve the same treatment, and that's something I admire of her. So I think that with that one she's really good as well. She also manages to create a positive learning environment. As I told you, she gives them like a motivating feedback. And she's all the time like, okay, you can do it, let's go, try. Sometimes students get a little bit upset. Like, you didn't give me feedback on this work. Or, why I want to participate again, so why are you letting, I don't know, Pepito participate if I wanted to participate? But I think that she gives the opportunity to everyone so that they can speak and they can talk during the classes. Now, about the objectives, I actually write the objectives here today. And I forgot where I wrote the objectives here. I was like checking that if she met the objectives for today's class, and yes, she did. Today we had mediation, so she had to go like really quick with everything, but but still she managed to do most things that she wanted to do, and she always meets the objective. So good there. And sorry, this is going to be so long. I'm sorry. I like to talk. And about addressing the disruptive behavior, I think that we maybe have a little bit of a problem there. As I told you, this student, Alejandro, she's a little bit of a mess because he's lazy, and it's not like he's disruptive as in I don't want to do anything, or he's not collaborating with the class activities or something. No, he's like, if he wants to, I don't know, for example, open his notebook or take it out from his bag, he's like that. And I think that it makes his peers get a little bit uncomfortable with the class because he's all the time with that attitude. He's with an attitude, and he's like, I don't care about this. Like, he even arrives late most of the times. Well, he arrives like 8 minutes after the class starts, but he arrives late, and he's like, I don't care. So I actually have a question with that. And it's like, how can we work with him? Like, what strategies can we use to make him a little bit more active, so that he can participate during the class, stop using his cell phone because he uses his cell phone a lot during the classes, and it's like we're talking and he's like like that, and we don't really like that. So Camilo, for you, or JC or Marcy, if you're watching this, what strategies can we apply with this type of student? Because he's not like he's lazy or he doesn't know, but he doesn't make an effort to be better at, like, to improve his English or to even pay attention to class. He's just like, I'm here just because my parents pay for it, and that's all. And I think that's not fair for the other students, neither good for the class environment. So I would love for you to give me like a little bit um, of insight on what to do, what activities we can apply with this student. So when I have to give the class, actually last next Saturday that we're starting with the warm up, what can I do with him to make him a little bit more participative, and active during the class? So about the addressing the disruptive behavior, well, what she does is like, okay, stop using your cell phone, or I will give you negative points. Or remember that you don't have to use your cell phone because of blah 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 blah. So that's what she does. That's how she addresses disruptive behavior. But we don't have more students with that type of disruptive behavior. Just Alejandro and other two that sometimes use their cell phones, but the rest they are really really nice students, and she does not use the inclusion. I know she showed it to me actually during their first meeting, if I'm not wrong, but she does not use it. I well, as far as I know, because I'm not really sure. I didn't ask that. I slipped my mind, but I will ask her. And but as far as I know, or as I've seen during the classes, she does not use it. And I think that's all for the instructional. Sorry, wait. Sorry, I had to take care of something with my dogs. So, but what would I do differently? As I was telling you, maybe I will work with well, what did I write here? Sorry. I will work with making like step by step presentations or activities, and showing them a little bit, well, more examples so they can work with that and they won't feel lost during the class. So I firstly will address that because I feel like students sometimes are getting a little bit distracted, or they don't understand what's happening because they don't understand the teacher, they don't understand the instructions. So I will work with that. And there were some part in which I felt like she didn't check the vocabulary before the class, but at the same time, I felt like she did. But I know that we as teachers don't know everything. I mean, we don't know each single thing. So it is okay if she forgot some words. But for this specific activity, she was doing a mediation. She was doing it about haiku. Haiku? No, haiku. Haiku? I forgot the name. I confused it with haiku. I think it's haiku that are like a Japanese poem structure. And she was talking about syllables. Like, oh, that's how you make syllable, and they had to clap and everything. But there was some. I don't know if it was. Well, I think the vocabulary was already there, but I don't know if it that she forgot to check it or she forgot it, but she got wrong some of the syllables in some of the words. And well, I told her about some of the words, but not about the others. So she did like the wrong syllable parting thing with some of the words. I don't know if it was because she didn't check them beforehand or why that happened. And I will focus on pronunciation. There are a lot of words that they pronounce wrong. So, for example, keyboard. They had to guess, like, she gave them some clues, like you use it with a computer, you use QWERTY and things like that. But I mean, the student that got their word right said keyboard, keyboard, and She repeated that like 3 times. She said keyboard, 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 and the team teacher did not correct her. It was like, nice, you did a good job. So she only corrected her when she had to say like keyboard, but I mean students did not fully catch on that because the student kept saying keyboard, keyboard after that. So I would love for her to focus a little bit more on pronunciation with some of the students. What else? Zoom for small activities. No, for the canvases. Well, the PPT presentations, the presentations, because sometimes the font is too small. The size is really, really, really small, and students cannot see. And she just left it there. She did not zoom on them. So I think that's part of the instruction and um yeah, like checking checking on students understanding. So maybe I will work on that, and as I told you, put more examples. And let me see if I have um oh, okay. Well, I think I'll try to talk about a little bit more um, about what I like from the class. Well, I told you what I like already, but there were some things that I like. And it's the she did like a small exercise. Well, the small exercise not it was for the points of the class. They did like a money activity, so they received the money, and they at the end of the class chose how to spend the money. If they wanted points, if they wanted points for using the cell phone during the class, or if they wanted to invest the money for future activities. And they really liked that activity, so I preserved for that. And I think that's actually everything. So the only question that I have is about Alejandro, like how to make him participate a little bit more. And yeah, I think that's all. I hope that I developed all the instructional performance points and things that you gave to us, and that I answered to the questions. The questions were had they were like on rules, expectations, and the other things that were there. The which ones were evident. I think I developed them, and which ones we can develop further. I also talk about that. So I think it will be all for this video. I'm sorry, Camila, that this video is way too long, but I like to talk. So, well, thank you so much, and well, I will be waiting for your feedback. Have a nice and wonderful weekend, or week, midweek, if you're watching this during the week. Bye bye.